Happy anniversary, I guess. I mean, it was like a week ago, but I was waiting for you to say it. I wasn't going to be the first one to say it. Obviously, you didn't remember, so happy anniversary. Hello, welcome to episode 34. Yeah, it really is my anniversary. I've been doing this channel for like a year now. Thanks for watching. Why are you focusing on that? Nick from CC Minis sent me, and what? Yeah, whatever, just rack the focus. Yeah, Nick from CC Minis sent me this early Christmas present. You know, I have to find somewhere to put it. So the last episode, if you watched it, it was me building a gigantic scratch-built robot like this big. And where do you go from there? Where do you go? I mean, you obviously make some little plants, don't you? Little plastic plant terrain. One of my New Year's resolutions is to make one of my wife's New Year's resolutions to play Stargrave with me, or Planet 28, or just any tabletop game ever, because, you know, I don't go out. So I want to make some alien jungle, toxic forest kind of terrain because, you know, that's what I fancy doing. So for inspiration, I'm using the film Nausicaa, Valley of the Wind, the Ghibli film, or Ghibli film. I think it's Ghibli. Obviously, there's some Studio Ghibli stuff. I had to ask permission from Studson Studio. He said it was okay. He forgives me because it's my favourite Ghibli/Ghibli film. It's just basically taking some inspiration from that film and doing what I want. Anyway, see you in a bit. So I've always loved the toxic forest in Nausicaa. You know, I love how weird and creative the plants are. And I thought, you know, I could try and do some of that. So I'm going to stick this up there for inspiration. So the thing about the toxic forest in Nausicaa is it doesn't really look like a forest at all. It doesn't look like plants. They look more like a coral reef, which I always found quite interesting. So I guess that's the kind of direction I'm going to go. I'm probably going to come up with some sort of concoction that I can use to kind of calcify everything, if you know what I mean. Is that even a word? I don't think it is. But basically make it look like a coral reef. So as we draw closer to Christmas / the holidays, I have been gathering quite a collection of tacky pound store Christmas decoration tat, as you'll see later. I also have quite a collection of twigs and weird pine cones and weird seeds from trees I can't identify that I can use as well. But if I can't use any of that stuff, then I'm just going to scratch build it. But anyway, we have options. So obviously the main objective will be for me to not paint these plants rusty. I don't think I can get away with that. But, you know, I'm going to experiment with colour. I want them to be colourful, but let's just see how colourful I can make them. Obviously there's a limit. I don't want it to look like the Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, the remake of Charlie and the Chocolate Factory film that came out, I don't know, with Johnny Depp a few years ago. I hate that film. I mean, seriously, it's a mess. Yeah, let's try and avoid that. So let's talk about the sponsor of this episode. It's my mum. Only joking, she doesn't even watch the show. Actually, I do have a sponsor, and it is U-Gears. U-Gears are a company that make wooden mechanical puzzles and wooden mechanical toys that you put together yourself from these little flat packs. If you enjoy making stuff, now I'm pretty sure you do, you're watching the channel, then you would enjoy putting these things together. They look pretty complicated at first, but you're actually genuinely amazed with what you come out with. I mean, look at this. I played with this for like 6 hours. This is the reason the video's delayed, everybody. You can even add other ones to it to make it modular. I mean, hold on, let's just watch this for a minute. Anyway, back to the sponsorship. So in all honesty, I was really impressed with this product. It's quite a challenge to put together in a good way. It was fun. I had a genuine sense of achievement when I built this thing. Like, I couldn't believe I made something so mechanical using basically flat pieces of wood. It was quite amazing. Anyway, go check out the link down below and yeah, say hello from me, I guess. Is that what you do to sponsors? Anyway, let's get back to it. So let's take a look at what we have. We have lots of these plastic plants and tacky Christmas decorations that we can use. Lovely. And I have a lot of twigs and seeds and pine cones from out there. You know that place, the big place, with the nature and stuff. Outside, that's it, outside. But I told myself throughout this build I want to kind of avoid anything that's kind of leafy. Anything that looks kind of like a real plant. So let's make some tentacles that come out the ground. I guess they would be called vines, not tentacles, if you're a plant. Vines are just plant tentacles, right? Anyway, I used some wire and some hot glue to make them. Now I know what you're thinking, keep it to yourself. So you remember earlier when I said I wanted to calcify everything? Well, crust everything is probably a better word. So I'm going to make this kind of crusty paste. It is basically water, PVA glue, baking powder and sand, and it needs a name. And I don't know, I'm thinking like crust juice. Is that disgusting? Crusty paste? Crust water, I don't know, crust milk, I don't know. Anyway, comments down below. If you can't tell already, this whole episode is about experimentation. I don't know how to make a toxic forest, so I'm just going to try things out. So there are my first attempt at some crusty vines / tentacles. But I wanted to try something else, so I took some of this twine and I pretty much did the same thing with twine. So for a bit of irregularity, I tied a few knots in a few of these strings just to mix it up a little bit. And there we have it, there's my Twiglet Zero. They basically look like Twiglets with all the flavouring sucked off of them. But, you know, let's compare them and see how they look. So here are the originals made with hot glue and wire. And the ones made from string. I'm not too happy with the string ones, to be honest. They might be interesting for something else. It's an interesting effect. But anyway, let's move on. So I found these weird seeds, or kind of tiny pine cone things, in the front garden. I have no idea what sort of tree it is. Maybe someone can tell me in the comments down below. But I'm going to use those. They're some cool shapes. So if you decide to use any sticks or anything from outside, make sure you bake them in your oven. Bake them for a while, dry them out, kill all those horrible creepy crawlies, and the good ones, to be honest. Kill them all. That's what I say. And there we have a multi-tiered mushroom. I bet you didn't see that coming. So I found these weird flower things in the pound shop. I guess they're Christmas flowers. I don't know what they have to do with Christmas, but yeah, they've got these interesting. Let's get rid of that. This part here is pretty interesting to me. It looks pretty alien already. So I decided to glue the bottom bit to the top bit, and there you go. There's an alien plant, the easiest alien plant you've ever made. As far as making alien plants go. I mean, that's a bit of a weird sentence. So in the pound shop, I also found these weird berry pine cone leaf things, decorations. The leaves are quite good, but I don't want to use leaves because they look like leaves. So much like a hunter, I like to use every part of my kill because I'm macho like that. And this thing looks like an alien plant, and I'm pretty sure I can use those berries later. Let's see. So basically I still had some of that crust milk, crust juice, I don't know, I figure something out, left, and I wanted to crust up these little plants. So basically I use this stuff on everything throughout this video. It really is Xmas in this house, if Will McDaniel will allow me to use that term. So I decided to use the foam berries from those weird plants, and I felt like melting stuff with my hot knife, so here goes. I understand it's probably not the safest way to use a hot knife, but I am an expert at burning myself, so you know, I can take it. So I had still a little bit left of the crust juice, the crust paste, the crust milk, the crust water, the crust olay. I don't know, comments down below. Anyway, waste not, want not. I used up the rest of that stuff, and yeah, let's leave those to dry. Oh, hello, still there. Well, since you're there, I just want to mention, I just wanted to, you know, have a little chat, basically. You know, what's that over there? Oh, there's something just over there. Oh, this? Are you looking at this? Oh, this is oh, this is a bit dirty. This is this is my t-shirt there. You can buy this on my merch store down below. It's funny you noticed that. I wasn't going to bring it up. Eyes up here. Anyway, let's get on. So I had an idea for another plant. It's a bit of a weird one, but I'm going to need some sticks. Yeah, I cut those down with these little pruners that I got from the pound shop. So I used hot glue to stick these pieces together, but I wish I used super glue because this hot glue just disintegrated eventually, and I had to super glue the whole thing anyway. And then I drilled a hole in the end. So this was a large paintbrush that I've had a long time, and I use it basically to make reeds and anything that looks kind of reedy like. So I stuck some reeds at the end of this tree, and it's like a brush tree. Stick with me. So I have a ton of weird alien plants, and I want them all to be a nice uniform colour, so it's time to prime. Now I don't think this prime session is going to be quite as, let's face it, sexy as usual, but it should be satisfying in its own way. So I sprayed them all with some brown spray paint for no other reason than I had brown spray paint handy. But then I decided to dry brush them all in the sand because I like to torture myself. It's completely unnecessary. It's just because I wanted to see all that nice crusty texture. So we need bases. Time to make some bases. Basically just cut some bases and a foam board and bevel the edges with a long knife. Bases. The worst thing about basing for me is trying to find a base material that doesn't warp with PVA glue, and apparently foam board doesn't, so I'm going to try that out. And then it was time to basically flower arrange. That's basically what this is. This is probably the most enjoyable process of the whole build, so enjoy. So I pull my little 28mm guy out for scale. Off you go. I wouldn't go saying that in public. So believe it or not, I did have a paint palette in mind, a colour scheme. I was kind of going for blues and purples into like a rusty orange red. But it's, you're never really sure how it's going to work out until you do it. And even so, at the end, you can just dull it all down with an oil wash, which is probably what I'm going to do. Look, I'm out of my comfort zone, alright? And when in doubt, just get out a dry brush and just dry brush the thing. Always seems to work. Everything's better with a dry brush. So this is the season where I just tend to mix a lot of stuff together with PVA glue and paint, which is what I did here. The effect I was going for is a kind of like orange moss that kind of gathered around the plants, around the base. Kind of looks like that. It looks interesting, either way. But there you go. So here we are. I really like these. I was a bit worried about the colour because, I'm not very good with colour, but that colour's it's alien, but it's still kind of muted down enough that it doesn't look too bizarre. And they look like they could be real plants, especially these weird paintbrush plants. It was weird painting a brush with a paintbrush. I made about 5 or 6 of these, and I've still got loads to make more. I just didn't really have enough time. I'm sure I'll make some more in the future. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video. I'm going to try desperately to get a Christmas episode in just before Christmas. And I will see you then. Stick around for the glamour shots at the end. Happy anniversary. So me and the patrons are taking part in a challenge. We have to make a Christmas themed build before Christmas, and the best ones will be included in the next episode. So if you haven't took part yet, go and take part now, and I'll see you there. So there we have it. There is my scatter terrain inspired by Nausicaa's toxic forest. I hope you like it. If you do like it, let me know down below. And at least now I have somewhere for my to live. Where is he? He's around here somewhere. Oh, there he is. Hello, Oh, he's got red eyes. Yeah, you stay away from them when they've got red eyes. Anyway, see you later. Either way, I have some very nice looking alien forests for my Stargrave games that I will probably never ever play with my wife next year. I should probably get some friends. I mean, who makes friends at the wrong end of 30? I mean, really, come on.